What is going on, and welcome back to another video. You will have been able to see by the thumbnail, today's video is going to be a Q&A. I asked questions last week on my Instagram story and I said, like, what do you want to know? It can be anything. I wanted a wide range of questions and you guys definitely delivered that. So I thought I would write down in my phone. I've written down 20 questions which I am going to get through. So these are going to be short, snappy questions. I'm going to have a cut-off point for talking. So let's get on with the video. Question number 1, skincare routine. Now, yeah, I have quite a rigorous skincare routine. I have the Kiehl's Blemish Cleanser Treatment. None of these are gifted, guys, but this is just what I use. This also has salicylic acid. So if you suffer from breakouts like me, salicylic acid is quite drying, but it is good for kind of controlling breakouts. Something that I really recommend, also not gifted, paid for it myself, but quite pricey, is the Zeo Health. I love this range and I've seen so many people on Instagram and YouTube using this as well. They're basically like little cotton pads. So they're just like oil control, they are a toner. I also use an SPF in this range and a moisturizer. So those are the kind of 4 things I always use. I was definitely like a makeup white kind of gal until I thought it's time to look after my skin. Okay, second question. If there was one thing you would do if money was no object, what would it be? An interesting one. So like taking money and just actually reality out of the question, it may be like going back in time and seeing like my grandparents again, or going back to a specific moment that wasn't reality. So maybe I've taken that the wrong way, but I would say like go back in time, not all the time because I love where I am now, but to like specific memories that you would kind of want to relive, I suppose. Number 3, what is your favorite fruit? I would say either blueberries or watermelon. Kind of like bananas, but if you'd seen my other video about intolerances, sometimes bananas don't like me. Number 4, what book are you reading at the moment? Well, let's have a look on my Audible. So at the moment I am reading Is Butter a Carb? So that is by Rosie Saunce and Helen West. It's basically like debunking nutrition myths and diet myths and things like that. What have I read before? Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton, that is something I recommend. Period Power by Maisie Hill. Elizabeth Day's How to Fail, obviously by Elizabeth Day. Atomic Habits by James Clear, absolutely love that. Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, that is like one that everyone would just feel motivated and inspired by. I do love a book and I do love a podcast. Number 5, what is the best chat up line you've ever had from a guy at the gym? Well, once a guy became my boyfriend who was a personal trainer. I definitely wouldn't relive that again. But to be honest, like thinking about it now, I know that I've got a boyfriend. I mean, when I'm in the gym, I do have a bit of resting bitch face, I suppose. I know a lot of single friends as well who are girls who don't particularly like it as well, because the gym is quite an intimidating environment. So I would say, I think that is written by a guy who asked me. So I would just say be wary of people, because a lot of people do find the gym environment uncomfortable as it is. And if you go and say like, basically quite kind of flirt with them or could be seen as intimidating, I think it might just put someone off. Look for signals, like if they're looking like they want to be approached and smiling and kind of maybe initiating the conversation, maybe, but just be careful. Be careful, everyone. Number 6, what makes you feel good in your own skin when you're feeling down? I love listening to podcasts and audiobooks. I think when I'm feeling down and when I'm feeling a bit stressed and anxious, I almost like just taking myself out of my thoughts. That helps. Going for a walk really helps, or stretching on my yoga mat. I know I've said that before on my Instagram. or just in like a self-care kind of way. I love getting my nails done, like I love a pedicure, occasionally like treating myself to a facial. I also think if you're feeling down at the weekend and don't like particularly have anywhere to go and you're gonna kind of be cooped up all day, what I would really recommend is get yourself out of bed, get yourself out of your pajamas, like wash your hair, put on a little bit of makeup. I know that people would say, oh, that's a bit superficial, but honestly, sometimes you just need a little bit of a boost, and like, I'm feeling great today, to actually get yourself out of that negative mindset. Where are we? Number 7, favorite Disney movie. Either The Lion King or, controversially, Mulan. I love Mulan. What was your mental health like when losing weight and gaining weight? So I would actually say my mental health was at an all-time low when I was at my leanest. When you think about it, it's not very surprising, because if you are in an extreme calorie deficit and you are completely starved of carbs, your brain loves the carb, loves it to be able to function right and to be able to kind of think clearly. So I would always say to people who say, you know, keto this, keto that, you know, maybe there is a place for keto on occasions, but I could never think about doing it myself because I've been extremely low carb before. Number 9, how long are your breaks between meals? Oh my gosh, it totally depends. I feel like I always go for a little snack in the afternoon. So my kind of usual routine, even though this changes, I probably eat between 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning. I get up around 5:30. So before that, I just have a coffee. Then probably about 1:30-ish, I have like a lunch. And then around about 4:30, I have like a snack. Like yesterday it was just like Greek yogurt and berries and some almonds, and then I have my dinner probably around 7. So that's kind of, I suppose, my normal day of eating. Okay, number 10, uni is coming up and I want to keep gymming too. Any tips on how to keep the balance? You've kind of just got to prioritize things at different stages of your life. I know that I did an Instagram post about that the other day. For example, like 5 years ago, I prioritized training twice a day, knowing that the way that I looked and my training was like the most important thing of my life. I think when you go to university, priorities shift for making new friends, socializing with friends, probably getting drunk, kind of making mistakes because you kind of learn a lot through university, and then kind of trying to like maintain a bit of weight and shape. When you get to university, different courses have different schedules on whether you are based in a university like I was, or whether, I know friends just went in for lectures like twice a week and then had to work from the library or at home. I would say at university it's really important anyway to figure out your schedule and routine, what it kind of looks like in the week, and then depending on whether you're a morning person or an evening person, whether you want to go in an afternoon, try and work out like a little bit of a schedule that you can stick to roughly. If you say at university, I'm going to train 7 days a week, you won't train 7 days a week and you'll feel like a little bit of a failure. So I would say try and aim for a certain amount. Obviously at university you don't have as much money as different other points in your life, so think about how you can eat healthily on a budget. Now, if you want me to do more of a kind of elaborate video about eating healthily and meal prepping, let me know in the comments below and I will get that video done for you. Number 11, favorite holiday destination, Italy, Amalfi Coast. I just want to be going back to the Amalfi Coast. We are going to Italy in 2 weeks time, me and Henry. We're going around Lake Garda and Simeone. If anyone's been there, let me know. But Amalfi Coast, hands blooming down. Do you compare yourself to other girls? Any tips how to stop it? Right, okay. Especially us females, we've always felt pressure in the way that we look. Now with social media, that pressure is photoshopped, it's a highlight reel, it's a filter, and it's so easier said than done. But think about the qualities you have, because we can get wrapped up in what other people are doing, and we kind of get sidetracked and forget about the qualities that we have got. Now, first of all, remember that everyone's Instagram is a highlight reel. I cried on Instagram the other day and I got so many messages of support, but what those people don't see, and however many people message me, which I was just like completely overwhelmed, but what those people don't see is that numerous times a week I have a sob, and so I'm sure does everyone else. But I don't post about it because that would just be so negative. So remember, no one's life is perfect. No one's life is perfect. And also, something major that I absolutely recommend before you do anything else is filter out, delete accounts or mute if you are already friends with them and they're making you feel bad. Delete or mute accounts that are making you feel bad. Now, you don't even have to have a reason. It could just be someone's triggering you a little bit. Follow diverse people as well. So people of different ethnicities, different people's body shapes and sizes, different people's like values as well. Like, the world isn't just one dimensional. I know I've kind of gone off topic, but it's really, really important, this, guys. So yeah, I hope that helps. Number 13, how are we doing for time? What did your family and friends say when you started Instagram and YouTube? My mum was very, very supportive. A lot of my friends laughed at me. I felt sometimes quite vulnerable because it wasn't like it is now that a lot of people do Instagram. It was kind of the start of my fitness journey, so I was posting a lot of body shots and a lot of kind of transformations, being quite vulnerable in the way that I was feeling. So yeah, I think it is just about believing in yourself and kind of going past it. But I didn't get support from everyone, and still my dad doesn't really talk about at all actually what I do. Doesn't understand really, which is fine. How easy did you find it adjusting to London life? So I actually decided to make the move a week before I came to London. So that was not last January, the January before, January 2018. I decided at the start of January, and I moved a week later. I don't know how I did it because I am literally Miss Sensible. I don't do things like that normally. I didn't feel like there was much scope for doing anything in Manchester anymore. A lot of my friends had moved away. I felt quite isolated. I didn't feel motivated. So actually, after the first few weeks, and then in my house share, one of the people that I'd become extremely close to, Hannah, moved in, didn't know her at all, and we got on like a house on fire. It was just literally a fresh start. I don't regret it for one single minute. It literally changed my life. Number 15, what GCSEs did you do? So, okay, so I did maths, English, science. I did arts, graphic design, music, D. A definite D. My mum still haunts me for that because she was like, I paid for your piano lessons, Sophie. Still got a D. I got a D in Spanish. What else did I do? I actually did PE. I did PE, and then Henry told me every single person does PE because it's an easy GCSE. It wasn't, I got a C. But yeah, I definitely wasn't that good at PE. I think that's it. Religious studies? We all have to do that. Anything else? I think that was it. How do you avoid emotional eating? Oh, I used to be so bad for this. When I was stressed, when I was happy, when I was sad, it was like, pass me all the food, mainly bread. I think it is actually about distracting yourself at that moment in time. So if you know you are likely to do it, first of all, be restrictive about what you have in your house. And I would say, and something that someone told me is that this is the same with binge eating. If you wait like a good 10 minutes and say, right, I really want to eat that full packet of biscuits, but I'm not going to. I can in 10 minutes. And if you wait for 10 minutes, normally, not always, but normally you've had a moment to digest the fact that you don't need that packet of biscuits. You might only need 2, or you might not need any. And it is that time, like going to brush your teeth or something, for your mind to connect with what's going on and stopping that behaviour. What facial treatments do you have? You always look so fresh-faced. So I have had Botox before. I get it done at the Skin Doctor clinic by Dr. Selena. I highly recommend her. Obviously, I don't advocate and I don't really talk about any Botox and fillers because it is completely your decision. But I think it's important to be honest when these questions come up. My job is as well on camera a lot, and it is something that I've done for me. I also had nose filler as well to remove slightly the bump in my nose as well. So I've had that done with Dr. Selena twice as well. I also get regular facials because I break out a lot, mainly on my jawline. On this area, it's kind of a little bit flared up at the moment. Number 18, any self-tanners you recommend? Yes, I actually use Saint-Tropez tan. I love it's called the Express Tan. It's in the blue bottle. So basically it's 1 to 3 hours depending on what shades you want to be. Often I leave it on overnight, but it's really good if you, like, say, forgot that you're going on a night out or wanted to look a little bit bronzed for the evening. You can even just like put it on 3 hours before whilst you're like cleaning the house or something. This is a really interesting one. Do you think your relationship changed an attitude to your body because of getting a boyfriend and getting older? Yes and no and yes, I think. I think getting older and maturing has been a big eye-opener for me, and I know that some of my friends as well aren't so caught up on their body because other things matter. And yeah, since being with Henry, like, Henry literally prefers me when I have no makeup on, when I'm in just like a t-shirt like I am now. Like, he literally prefers me like that. And although you obviously have to be attracted to a person, our personalities complement each other so much. There is so much more than the way that you look. Like, I remember when I was super lean and I got a DM, and now thinking about it, I remember receiving it and I was just like, oh, what on earth are you talking about? But someone messaged me, and I don't like any kind of trolling at all, like, obviously, but they said, what will you do when your abs fade? And I think, like, looking back, that was so true, because at that time I didn't have anything else. All I had was literally like the six-pack. And if you are wholly focused on every single inch of your body being perfect and without fat, whatever that is, then we all change, we all grow up. You have to have something else to offer. And I feel like that's kind of me at the moment. I've always known that I have more to offer than just a bod. And now looking back, I just think how silly that was. So I suppose that's kind of just like growing up a little bit. Last but not least, and this is a really easy one, what size are your Gymshark leggings? I mentioned this in my video that I did on a Gymshark haul. They are a small, guys. A small, and I find that in most Gymshark collections they fit me spot on. So that is going to be it, guys. I made sure I answered 20 of your questions. Guys, before you go, I have to ask, because I'm going to start a new YouTube series, and like I've said before, that I don't do competitions anymore. I don't really have a journey to aim for. I'm not really aiming for a specific goal. What would you want to see in a YouTube series from me? I'm really interested and I need some inspiration. So if you have any suggestions, just pop them in the comments below and I will make sure I read them all. So until next Sunday, guys, I will see you in the next video. Bye.